Let us see what is logistic regression. So linear regression is mainly used to predict the response variables, which are nothing but our target variable, with continuous values, like predicting the house price, then predicting what is the temperature at a particular place, or predicting the stock price, and so on. So in this case, our response variable is a continuous value variable. Whereas when you go for logistic regression, it is not a regression technique actually, it is a classification technique. And with the help of this logistic regression, you can predict whether something is true or false. And mainly it is used for categorical response variables. You know what is the meaning of categorical response variables? Like if I say that I have 3 different fruits in my basket, I can say I have apple, then orange, and then papaya. So I have 3 different categories now. So whenever you want to predict, whenever you want to classify categorical variable, you can go for logistic regression. Not a technique for regression, it is actually a technique for classification. Then why it is called as regression? Because it is not doing regression, it is doing only classification. Why can't we call that as logistic classification? Why it is given the name logistic regression? Here comes the answer. It is named logistic regression because the underlying technique used in this is similar to the linear regression. That's why it is called as logistic regression. When you see how the method is working internally, it is using a technique which is similar to the linear regression, but it is going to do classification. And the term logistic is taken from logit function. We are going to use a special function called as logit or otherwise sigmoid function. Because of that only, it is given the term logistic regression. And that function is mainly used in this particular method for classifying the samples either as positive class or otherwise negative class. And in this, it is a predictive analysis algorithm. It is going to work on the concept of maximum likelihood probability. Here, probability comes into picture. This logistic regression is working on probability only. So it can be used to find the probability that a given sample belongs to various classes. For example, if I give you one image, if I ask you whether it is cat or lion or dog, then it will say that the probability of the image belonging to cat is 0.7. Then probability of the image belonging to dog is 0.2. Probability of the image belonging to lion is 0.1. If you add all the probability, totally you will get 1. But it will say 3 different probabilities because I have 3 different categorical outputs in my data set. So it is going to find the probability that a given sample belongs to various classes. The number of classes can be any number, but total probability when you add, you will be getting the value as 1. So mainly logistic regression is used for binary classification problem. Even you can use it for multi-class classification problem also. So you know what is binary classification. There will be 2 different categories in the output. You can say whether a particular customer will buy a new product or not, or otherwise you can classify the emails into spam or otherwise not spam. Or if I give you a tumor sample, you can say whether it is malignant or otherwise benign. And then you can also find out whether a person is obese or not. So here we have only 2 outcomes. We are going to predict whether a particular sample belongs to outcome 1 or otherwise outcome 2. This is binary classification. You can even use the logistic regression for multi-class classification. Like given the image of 3 different fruits, you can find out whether a particular sample is belonging to which category. So that is multi-class classification. Now let us understand this logistic regression with the help of an example. First, I am going to give you the age of customers, and you need to find out whether a person with a particular age will buy a car or not. So if you consider this particular data set, we have only 2 attributes. One attribute is called as age, and the other attribute is whether a person will buy a car or not. But in your original data set, the input variable will be given as age, which will have a continuous value like 15, 20, 25, 70, and so on. And the output variable will be whether a person will buy a car or not. So it can be either 0 or otherwise 1 in the original data set. Now, you are going to find the classification of this by applying the logistic regression. Now, let us see why can't we apply linear regression for this. So we are going to take the age of the customer in the x-axis, and then in the y-axis, we are going to find the probability, which is going to tell whether a person is going to buy a car or not. And sometimes whatever data set you have, the data set will have outliers also. You know what is the meaning of outlier? Outlier is nothing but it is a particular sample which have either very low value or very high value for a particular attribute. Now, when you go for plotting the linear regression model, any linear regression model will take value from minus infinite to plus infinite. And here, what we want is we want the probability only. Probability is going to take value from 0 to 1. So, because of this reason only, we cannot apply linear regression technique for this particular example. Because we want to predict the probability. Probability can take value from 0 to 1 only. It cannot have minus 2 or plus 2 and so on. The probability range is limited. But when you apply linear regression techniques to this particular problem, you will get any value from minus infinite to plus infinite, which is not the case we want. Because of that only, we are not going to apply linear regression for this particular problem. So here, instead of that, what we are going to apply and why it is called as logistic regression. Here we are going to use something called as sigmoid function. This sigmoid function is a mathematical function which has a characteristic curve which is S in shape. Sigmoid, first letter is S. The curve is having the shape as S. If you see this, this is a curve of a sigmoid function. It is S in shape. Because of that only, it is called as S-shaped curve. And this function is going to map your entire number line, like whatever line you have drawn in the previous example, that is a straight line. It is going to map that straight line into small range. The range can be either from 0 to 1 or otherwise from minus 1 to plus 1. This is the use of the sigmoid curve. We can use this sigmoid function to convert any real value data into one that can be interpreted as a probability. Because in probability, I already told you that you want values from 0 to 1 only. If I have a real valued number which is having value from minus infinite to infinite, my aim is I want to convert that into probability from 0 to 1. For that, I can make use of this sigmoid function. And one of the most widely used sigmoid function is logistic function. There are so many sigmoid functions available. The famous function in that is logistic function. And this function is going to map any real value data into the range 0 to 1. If you take general sigmoid function, it can even map from minus 1 to plus 1. But for our particular example, we want the values from 0 to 1 only. Because of that only, we are going for logistic function. So it is called as logistic regression technique. Okay, so why the name regression comes is we have a straight line only initially, but the straight line is having value from minus infinite to plus infinite. Now, instead of that, we are going to apply logistic sigmoid function and we will find a value from 0 to 1, that is nothing but probability. Because of this only, the term is called as logistic regression. And if you see this sigmoid function, it will have a formula like this. F of x is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus x. So in this, e is nothing but Euler's number. The approximate value of that is 2.71828. Now, you can consider this particular figure. Here, in the x-axis, I have taken the age. And in the y-axis, I will get the value as whether a person is going to buy a car or he is not going to buy a car. When the age of the person is less, and he is not going to buy a car because he may not have any income of his own. Whereas as the age increases, I may be working, I'll earn a lot, then I'll go for buying a car. So it is going to tell that when the age of the customer is less, he is not going to buy a car. That means the probability of buying a car will be 0. But when the age is increasing, here we have the probability of buying a car as 1. So there is a high probability that a customer will buy a car if I give you this particular age. If the age is given here, you just go and see where this point is lying in this curve, S-shaped curve. It corresponds to buy a car. Suppose if I give you age in this range, you will immediately say that the person is not going to buy a car. So everything is only based upon the probability here. Now, let us see how this function is going to have a curve like this. So in case of logistic function, it takes any real valued input and it is going to output a value between 0 and 1. And s of x is nothing but 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus x. So this x value will be from minus infinite to plus infinite. But our aim is we want s of x from 0 to 1 only. Let us see how it is done. Let me substitute x is equal to 0 in this particular equation. If I substitute x is equal to 0, you will have s of 0 is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus 0. So e power minus 0 is 1. So you will have 1 by 2, that is nothing but 0.5. So when x is equal to 0, you are getting a value as 0.5. And when x is equal to 1, we are getting 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus 1. That is nothing but 0.73. Now, what is going to happen when x is minus infinite? When x is minus infinite, this term will become now e power plus infinite. E power infinite is infinite. So 1 by infinite is 0. So you will have s is equal to 0. And when x is equal to infinite, I will have this term as e power minus infinite. E power minus infinite is 0. So 1 by 1 will be now 1. So now what we can infer from this particular graph is, when x is ranging from minus infinite to plus infinite, I don't want this. I want instead a probability from 0 to 1, so that I am achieving in this. When x is minus infinite, I am getting the probability as 0. When x is plus infinite, I am getting the probability as 1. And for intermediate values of x, we are getting some different number which ranges from 0 to 1. So now this is a plot of the sigmoid curve. If you see this curve, you will understand that when x is equal to 0, here x is 0. And in this, we have seen that when x is 0, s of 0 is 0.5. So if you see the curve, here it is 0.5. And as x is increasing, here x is increasing, this probability will also increase. But the maximum value of the probability will be 1. So here 1 is reached. Similarly, when you decrease the value of x, as it is nearing minus infinite, the value will be equal to 0. So this is how our sigmoid function is going to map any real value data into probability from 0 to 1. So now, so what we understood now is we have a linear line. This is the output of a linear regression model, but we don't want this. So what we are doing is we are taking the line and we are giving that to a sigmoid function, and that is going to convert the line from plus infinite to minus infinite into probability from 0 to 1. So this is the S-shaped curve we are getting from the logistic regression model. And this is the mathematics behind this, how we are getting it. So this is a linear straight line. The equation of a straight line is y is equal to b0 plus b1 into x. Now we are giving this into a sigmoid function. So when you give it to a sigmoid function, it will convert into probability p. And this is nothing but the y value. It is applied to the sigmoid function. So you will have 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus y as a probability. And if you find the value of y from this particular formula, you will get that as log p divided by 1 minus p. That you can substitute in this equation instead of y. Okay, so now this is the final equation we are getting after passing to the sigmoid function. But our aim is we want to find the probability p only. So here I have given the steps. Log p divided by 1 minus p is this particular term. From this, you can find the probability p. When you find it, you will get an equation of this particular form. Okay, so this is how your sigmoid function is going to work. And once you plot the S curve, how you can find whether the output is 0 or 1, because in categorical variable, we will have the output as one of the two classes, whether class is S or no, or otherwise 0 or 1. How it is done? Because again, we are getting the output as probability only. Probability can take any real value from 0 to 1. I can give you the output as 0.5 or 0.2, 0.7 and so on. But how we are getting answer as only two different values from this sigmoid function. This is how it is going to work. The sigmoid function, that is nothing but our logistic regression model, is going to make use of something called as threshold. The threshold is set by us. We can set any value for the threshold. So suppose if I set the threshold as 0.5 and consider this particular value of age. Okay, so for this particular age, I am going to use the logistic regression model. I'll calculate what is the probability value. I'm going to get this probability. The probability is somewhere here. And we are going to compare whether this probability is less than the threshold or greater than the threshold. If the probability you are predicting from the logistic regression model is less than the threshold, then it is going to give you the answer as 0. And if the probability you are getting from the model is greater than the threshold, for example, if you consider age as this green color line, here the probability is greater than the threshold, that is above the blue color line. Therefore, when the probability is greater than the threshold, we will say that the person is going to buy a car. If the probability is less than threshold, he is not going to buy a car. If it is greater than threshold, he is going to buy a car. So, in case of sigmoid function, we have another important term, that is nothing but setting of the threshold. If you set the threshold as 0.8, then it will behave in a different way. So setting up the threshold is going to play a major role in this. So once I get this particular curve, if I give you the output is 0.75 from the model, what is the meaning of that? We are saying everything in terms of the probability only. So the meaning of 0.75 as output from the sigmoid function is there is 75% chance that the person with a given age will buy a car. Now, even you have 25% chance that he is not going to buy a car also. Okay, so here the outcome is purely based upon the probability. Now, let us consider one more example to understand this. So here in this, the scenario of this one is, it is used for the problem statement where we are going to predict the status of tumor. So whether, given the tumor size, we have to tell whether a tumor has spread or it is not spread and so on. So here we have two different cases, tumor spread and tumor not spread. So in the x-axis, we have taken the tumor size that is in centimeter, and then in the y-axis, we are going to predict whether tumor has spread or not. And blue color circles represent the observations, and red color curve, that is nothing but our S-shaped curve, is the output of our logistic regression model. So with the help of logistic regression, we are simply going to plot this curve, and whatever new point is given to us, we are going to see where this point is lying with respect to the curve, and we will predict the output. Now, if we use the logistic regression, we can model the tumor status y, that is nothing but our output y, as either 0 or 1. It is nothing but it is a function of the tumor size x, and we can apply this formula y of x. X is nothing but our input and y is output. Y of x is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus e power minus mx plus b. Why I have given minus mx plus b is, again, it is a regression model. It is a straight line only, but we are going to apply that line to a sigmoid function. And when you fit the sigmoid curve with respect to the parameters, finally you will be getting the model parameters for this particular sample as m is 1.87 and then b is minus 5.47. And once you know these values, if I give you any tumor size, you can predict whether the output is tumor has spread or tumor has not spread. So now let us see how to proceed with that. And here, given a tumor of size 3 centimeter, if you apply that to the previous formula, here in the formula, we have given this as a formula. And with the help of the model, we have predicted the values of m and b. They are nothing but our model parameters. Now you can substitute that in the equation. And once I give you the value of x as 3, in this equation, you can substitute the values of m, b, and then 3. You will find the answer as 0.535. So now what is the meaning of this? What this probability conveys to me? The tumor size is 3. If you see this graph, for this particular sample, when the tumor size is 3, the output is 0. That is, tumor has not spread. Whereas for another sample, when the tumor size is 3, here I am getting the output like this. The meaning is tumor has spread. So when the tumor size is 3, I cannot come to a conclusion. There may be a probability that tumor has spread for some patients, and for some other patient, the probability is the output is tumor has not spread. So how the model is predicting this? When you substitute in this model, you are getting the value as 0.535 as output. The meaning is, with the probability 53%, you can say that tumor has spread. So again, 47 probability is there, which is going to tell you that tumor has not spread. So when the value is close to 1 or close to 0, then only you can accurately tell about the output. When the value is nearing 0.5, that is nothing but nearing the threshold, we cannot predict it 100% surety. Okay. So tumors around 3 centimeter are more or less evenly distributed between both the classes. That is the result of this particular example. And now let us consider another case. Here we are going to consider that the tumor size is 6 centimeter. If you substitute the value of x in the original example as 6, you will be getting the probability of spread as 0.9968. So now let us understand what is the meaning of this value. Here, the tumor size is 6 centimeter. Let us consider the x-axis. When x is 6, you can see in the data set, I don't have any sample with x as 6 belonging to this particular output, belonging to 0. All this, there is no confusion in this. Always when the tumor size is 6, your output is 1 only. But when the tumor size is 1 or 3, then for some samples, the output is 0. For some sample, output is 1. That's why you have 1 point here and 1 point here. Okay, whereas for 6, we don't have any point that is lying in this range. Similarly, when the tumor size is 1, all the points are lying in this range only. None of the point is lying here. Okay. So what we can say from this probability is when the tumor size is 6 centimeter, with 99% accuracy, we can say that the person has tumor spread. Okay. So this model is predicting the probability very close to 1. That means that we are telling with certainty. So this is about the given example. Now let us see the comparison between linear regression and then logistic regression. You can use a linear regression to predict continuous dependent variable using a set of independent variables. So for whether it is linear regression or logistic regression, we have dependent variable as well as independent variable. We are going to predict the value of dependent variable with respect to independent variable only. But if it is linear regression, we are going to predict continuous dependent variables. Whereas if it is logistic regression, we are going to predict categorical dependent variable. This is the first difference. And coming to the second difference, linear regression is used for solving the regression problem, whereas logistic regression is used for solving classification problem. And the third difference is, in case of linear regression, we are finding the best fit straight line to predict the output. Our regression line is a straight line here. Whereas when you go for logistic regression, we are trying to find a S-shaped curve to classify the given samples into different category based upon the probability. And in case of linear regression, we will be using least square estimation method to predict how our model is performing good, so that we will find out the best fit line. Whereas in case of logistic regression, we are going to use maximum likelihood estimation method, which is based upon the probability, to detect how our curve is performing better. And linear regression model, in this, we estimate the value of the dependent variable in case of change in the value of all the independent variables. For example, we can predict the price of the house based upon the parameters like square feet of the house, number of bedrooms, and then floor number, and so on. When you go for logistic regression, here we are not predicting the actual value. We are calculating the probability of an event to occur or not to occur. And one example is what we have seen before. Given the size of the tumor's sample, you can predict the spread of the tumor. And you can even classify whether a particular tissue is benign or otherwise malignant, or given email is belonging to spam or not spam, and so on. Now, let us understand the various types of logistic regression. So in logistic regression, we have basically 3 different types. One is called as binary logistic regression, and the second is multinomial logistic regression. Third one is ordinal logistic regression. It is based upon whether you are performing classification as binary classification, otherwise multi-class classification. The first one, binary logistic regression, is dealing with binary classification, whereas the next 2, multinomial and then ordinal, they are dealing with multi-class classification. So what is our binary logistic regression? When here, the target variable is going to have only 2 possible outcomes, like spam or not spam, cancer or no cancer, 0 or 1, and so on. Whereas when you go for multinomial or otherwise ordinal, the target variable is going to have 3 or more than 3 outputs. Then what is the difference between these two, multinomial and then ordinal? If you consider multinomial, the target variable has 3 or more, but in this, the output class is nothing but nominal category. What is the meaning of nominal category is, for example, let me consider that I want to predict the image, whether it belongs to cat or dog or lion. So in this, I have 3 different categories. That's why it comes under multi-class classification. But when I predict cat, dog, or lion, I cannot say whether cat is better than dog or dog is better than lion, and so on. So there is no ordering among different classes. When you don't have any ordering among different classes, you will say that this is multinomial logistic regression. Whereas when you go for ordinal logistic regression, here the target variable has 3 or more ordinal category. Ordinal category is nothing but we can say some ordering among the output category. For example, I can give the rating of a product as in the scale 1 to 5. So what is the meaning is 1 is having the rating as lowest and 5 is having the rating as highest. So with respect to the class label, I can say what is the ordering among different class labels. Even you can give the score as low, medium, or high. Or whenever you go for a product recommendation, when you give 5 star, the meaning is the product is very good. When you give 1 star, the product is not that much good. So for those types of problems, we can use ordinal logistic regression.